his RT please advise.
Yes. Need two more silk proportioners for Station 2 now. At Jeff's request. And then new mask bags, as most of the ones that I have, well, all the ones that I currently have in inventory right now are all too small. And they don't want to put those in service because they're squishing the mask down so that the rubbers are being deformed. So I need to get replacement bags for those. And then the next request is for barn chain oil, and then I need 4 more things of depth for the engines. And then at the request of AC Natoli, he's requesting medical gowns. I only had a few in inventory, so he's looking to get another case of them to have them on hand as we are responding to medical calls. And then the last item that I am seeking approval for tonight is the turnout coats were sent out to be re-lettered, and in order to do that, some of the coats need additional repairs, and so I'm looking to get approval to have those repairs done. Otherwise, they're not going to just re-letter the coats and send them back. It's an additional $240 for the repairs, and it's basically 3 coats that need repairs to them. It looks like 2 of them need shell reinforcing areas, trim redone on the coats, and one of them has a pocket repair on it. 2 of them have pocket repairs. So the additional cost is $240 for all the repairs that need to be done. So I'm just looking for approval to get that done.
I'm assuming you want that tonight, so we're not holding
Yes.
up that, okay.
Yes.
And how many, just out of curiosity, how many gowns are in the case?
Say 100.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
Probably like tissue paper. I'll make a motion to go with the additional $240 to continue the coat repair.
I can second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Awards ceremony. Sean did send us an update.
Yeah, well.
So they figured out the square footage, 6 feet apart rule, 3 feet apart rule. At 6 feet apart, it have 88 people, I think it was, and at 3 feet apart, 177. I know Tony wrote back and said he was okay with it. Rick had already said he was okay with it. I have no problem with that particular, as long as they're adhering to that number to meet within the social distancing that they need to. Casey, do you have anything?
No, sounds good.
Okay. So we'll tell Sean that that was approved. Unfortunately, Tony is not here tonight. And did not give an update on the vehicle recommendations, so we'll just have to put that under old business for tonight, please. Station 1 AC. So I did look at the budget, and while we have $38,000 budgeted under buildings and grounds, building and something. Building maintenance, sorry. Building maintenance was $38,000. There wasn't any note specific to whether or not we budgeted anything specifically within that money. So I don't know of any large repairs that we have coming up. Jeff, do you know remind me what the dollar amount for that was? 20?
20,000 maybe. 20. Not offhand.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up. I think I have some old quote.
So unless we think that there's some large maintenance that's gonna come up for the rest of the year, I think we can do it if we want. Depending on the quote, I'm guessing the quote's probably still not good, and the dollar amount, we may have to rebid it. And I did see, just so you know, Jeff, just for as future's coming, spring's coming, we do have 8,000, that was ballparked in ground maintenance for the parking lot ceiling.
I'm
So you
looking
can
on that right now.
work on scheduling that.
Yeah, I'm getting quotes right now for that.
Okay.
I probably have it probably in my office.
Well, just let me know if you lay your hands on it.
Alright.
Chief, any update on the MDT and Squad 1?
I believe it was sent to all the commissioners after the last meeting that they had looked into it, and the note should have come back, or the email should have received from Kevin. Because as soon as I left the meeting, I had a conversation with him. It was caused by the movement of the vehicle. Apparently the screen itself on that MDT was loose, and it slammed down unintentionally, just the movement of the vehicle, and cracked a piece of it in the front. So it was done accidental, even though some thought it might have been done maliciously. But according to Kevin and Natoli that looked into it, there was no malicious business done, just by accident.
Rules for overnights. So I had started to work on rules for overnight for Station 3 and really kind of came up with 3 basic rules. You bring your toiletries in, you take them out with you, you change your bedding, you wash the sheets within 24 hours, you remake the bed. Yeah, do we need to make it more complicated than that? Is there something specific that you would want on there?
Well, there's some specific things that should be placed on there, which I think we can discuss on a different basis.
Okay,
As far as arrangements,
okay.
who can, who can't, who should, who shouldn't, and more or less. So, but I agree with you as far as washing them. I'd like to see them washing them before the 24 hours.
Well,
You know, and basically.
trying to be nice, given if they have to go to work or something.
Well, yeah, true, but by the same token, they can bring their own sheet or bedding or whatever else and take it home and then wash it. But we do have washing machines there, so within that 8-hour period or whatever else, they come back from work, throw them in the washing machine and take them home. So,
Well,
come back
all the beds have additional sheets, so they can just strip the dirty ones off and put clean ones on, and then take the dirty ones, launder them, and bring them, either launder them at the station. Jeff, is the dryer in yet?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so then they can launder them at the station, or take them home if they.
So basically, we need to break that, because otherwise, you say, nobody ever told me that.
Well, that's, yeah, I just didn't know if there's anything specific to, other than the who's and the what's of who can stay at the same time. If there's
I don't know
anything
if the
specific.
officer has had any conversation regarding the station or anything dealing with that.
I don't know, I just assumed that, you know, weather's coming, we're kind of opening things up a little bit more, that we're gonna start being asked, well, when can we start having overnights and scheduling that, and I'm actually really surprised that it hasn't come up already.
They might have not been thinking there was any limit to begin with as soon as the sheets were on it and the beds were set up, they probably figured they could use it. I just don't know that anybody was jumping right at it, so.
But we could probably do something similar where we develop the rules, print them out on an 8.5 by 11,
That's what I
post them,
intended.
frame them, and put them in the sleeping quarters so that, as well as send them out.
Yeah.
Has
Okay.
there been any discussion on them gaining points for doing a sleepover? Because essentially it's a nighttime standby, actually almost 8 hours, hopefully, maybe. I mean, if they get calls, they get credit for the calls, but for someone to spend their night there and get up in the morning, go to work, but it's not reported that they spent the night there, they're getting credit for it, they should be at least given credit because they're giving up their night to be sleeping at the station as opposed to home.
You can do it as a detail, but once they hit
Max level.
max level, which I think is 15 points in the detail category, I won't swear to it, but I think 15, then they're done. That's,
But at least
they can
know.
stay over as many
Yeah.
times as they want, but they're, that max credit's gonna hit 15, and then they're not gonna get any more
I
credit.
think I'm looking at it, that one person who may need 15 points,
Yeah, I mean, we
and
could,
they spend a couple of nights there, but how many points are you going to give them per sleepover?
What's a
Do
detail?
1 point, right?
I do 1 point.
You go for 1 point, because if you look at standby is 4 hours, they get 1 point, I believe. So here they're standing by maybe for 8 hours, do they get 2 points?
It's still
It's
one
just one, I think it's
standby.
considered one event.
1 point for activity. For activity?
Mhm.
Okay. As long as it's spelled out, it's written somewhere so they see that, then basically that can also be up there.
We'll have to figure out the logistics as far as what kind of approvals to validate it, so to speak. I don't know what's required, if he has to sign off on it, or if somebody,
The chief's gotta approve.
right,
Mhm.
so we can check on that.
That was pretty much the agenda item, unless if you have something in
I don't,
Can I do that?
I have one thing that I was just handed today, and that is for a purchase, which, once I bring it up to you, I can give it over to Wayne. But Assistant Chief Natoli asked if we could purchase True Fuel 32-ounce, 50-to-1 free-blended 2-cycle fuel. And basically, he's looking for a quantity of 20. The idea is he's looking to decrease our error when mixing fuel for our portable equipment. It'll decrease our maintenance costs and limit downtime for our personnel. Thought is 2 per large vehicle and 1 for the flammable cabinet, and remain it to stores. Basically, right now, many times the fuel mix is not done correctly. Thus, we have things that fail to start. We also have issues with the saws many times where no matter how many times we try to get them to start, they won't. So he's hoping that this may make it much simpler for us to have this already done and put in the whole can, and essentially to go back to business.
what's the cost?
The cost is, total for the 20, the quantity is $120. And the vendor would be Lowe's, or if the purchasing agent can get it somewhere else.
Looks like $6 a piece.
On tax tab so you guys can see it. There's a picture of the fuel can.
Is everything we run 50-to-1? for that today, or?
Can it wait till the?
No, it can wait until the meeting.
Can wait till me.
Yeah, because Tony's not here, Chris is not here, in case they have an opinion on it.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with it. Makes life easy.
Yeah.
I'm all about making life easy these days.
We will be bringing more for the meeting regarding the boat. We're having some electrical work done on it, removing the lights that were on the old Northwest One there, and replacing the lights that are currently on this with the ones from the boat.
So you mean you're gonna bring it up and ask permission to do that at the next meeting?
We're looking at it done professionally, even though we may have some people who feel that they can do good electrical work. Past practice has shown many times, yes, we can do some good electrical work when we know what we're doing. However, sometimes we falter, and when we do, then we pay the price, because when we did have the search for the victim who decided to take a midnight swim, there was no lights on the boat. They shorted out, which was just a quick fix by changing the fuse. However, now we have boats on the water, aluminum boat with no lights on it, and we've got this on the water with no lights on it, which we shouldn't be on the water with, period. So we felt that we should have them done professionally. Chief Belzak and Captain Leash are working on the list that they need. They're also working on a list that they need for some equipment necessary for engine 11. So that will be brought to the meeting and discuss some more information once they get it together. I wasn't too happy with the price of the battery operated fan that I saw because the expense of it was almost $5,000 for one fan. And I said, if nothing else, I want 3 prices on 3 different ones from 3 different organizations, not just one. And that may not make it to you, but that was just one of the items, which was a little costly. So that will be forthcoming.
Just be cognizant of your budget.
Okay.
Budget, just be cognizant of your budget when they start throwing $5,000 fans at you.
I'm very conscious of that. But that's an expense that we're going to still review and get back to you with.
Anything else? All right, so,
One item, sorry. The washer was delivered on Monday, the gear washer. The gear dryer is back ordered until the 17th of May. I already talked to Jeff about it. He is going to get the washer hooked up, and then with the ice machine, we kind of figured out where we need to go with it. So if he's comfortable hooking it up where we discussed, then he's going to work on that. Sorry, forgot all about that.
Okay, thanks.
I did tell him about the washer coming in. I do. I wanted to make it look like I knew something for a change. All right, so if we have no other topics, I do need to make a motion to adjourn the regular meeting to go into executive session. We have 2 executive session topics that we need to talk about on 2 different individuals. The first executive session, I need the board and I need Chief D in there. And then Jenny will join us. And then the second one, I need just the board and Joanne. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session at 7, to adjourn the regular meeting at the workshop at 7:19 and go into executive session. Do I have a second?
Right,
Okay.